Hello and welcome back to Joe's Arcade. This is episode number 16, and before we start I want to just take another second and go, wow, this looks pretty sharp with all the games in here. Anyway, enough being excited about how things are looking. I think it's time to get to some modeling. So this week's music of choice, at least on my end, is going to be Interstellar Chill Step Mix. Beautiful Chill Step Mix by this Bloom fellow. I'll put a link in the description like usual. I'm gonna kind of get that going, and yeah, we'll jump right into it here. So I'm looking to do a just a little bit of furniture modeling tonight is kind of my goal. So there's a file cabinet that belongs over here I'd like to put in, and this is going to be all on the fly. I'm going to start by going to the warehouse and seeing what we've got available there, because if possible I am going to try to use warehouse models that are close for most of these things. And rather than showing you OBS, I'll show you kind of this that I'm working off of are my notes. You can see I just have a couple, and they're not extremely well detailed, but I've dimensioned where some of these furniture items go. So this file cabinet that I'm going to try to do right now is 18 by 25 by 52 inches tall. So anyway, let's try. This is an interesting model there. Anyway, let's try file cabinet, and I think there's going to be a pretty good one here. Be surprised if there's not. There will at least be something that I can work off of. Looks like these are all kinds of different filing cabinets, which is pretty awesome. Might go with that. That looks like a pretty well done model. But let's see what else we've got here. Yeah, I'm that's not bad either. I can come back over here actually and take a look at our video footage, because I would have what this file cabinet looks like. And what the fridge looks like. So there's the file cabinet that I'm looking to do. That actually looks remarkably close to this one. So I think I might grab this guy. File cabinet in our school classroom. Interesting. I'm going to download this thing and load it directly into the model here. And let's see what we've got for dimensions. 28.5, so it's a little long. 15 inches. So a little short. And 52 inches. So the height is just right. That's perfect, actually. I'm going to grab this thing and I'm going to move it out here to some working space, because I will make some adjustments to it. So that's a little bit inconvenient right off the bat that we've got. It's not a whatchamacallit, it's not groups, separate groups in here, but no, okay, so we've got some, just the cabinet here is not a group. So I'm going to actually just delete this thing. Coming around there, and I think I'm going to end up, it's just a face. I think I'll just create a new face here. I don't need this one. Oh wow, some element to this is modeled on the inside, just for the cabinet that was pulled out, which is, that's cool, but it would be a huge trip hazard in the arcade if that was open. So though I do admire the dedication to detail. I'm going to modify this a little bit to suit our purposes. Okay, so I can go ahead and create that face. And I think we may end up retexturing this thing too. Let's see. Nope, that's not the color I want. For the moment, I'm going to texture it just the same as what they have done. I can do a color picker. Material 6, huh? And real quick, I'm going to come up to my tools. There's a lot going on there in the texture, and I know I just have a lot of textures because of the games, but I'm going to purge my unused here, and anything that's unused is going to get deleted out of this model. So now there's a few fewer textures, a few fewer components in here as well. Okay, so I was going to maybe change the color, but depending on what angle you look at this, just with the lighting, the color changes pretty drastically, and I think realistically it might be pretty close. So I do like that. I'm going to jump back in here, and one other modification I'm going to make is I'm going to just push this back 1/10 of an inch and recess that, just because. Well, that's cool. How is that? Interesting. I have no idea how these metal pieces there are constrained to it, but they are, which is really neat. So good job modeling there. Yeah, I want to push this back just 1/10 of an inch, because then if the edges are hidden, it'll still have some depth to it. And looking at the picture, it seems reasonable. Like that may be what it actually looks like. Just looking at this, trying to see why it is not clashing. There's no Z clashing there. Let's copy from midpoint down to midpoint. There we go. It might be because it might be ever so slightly offset from the face here, which is fine if that's what they've done. It doesn't look like it is. It's interesting. But I think that's looking pretty decent. So there we go. We've got our file cabinet drawers the way we want them. And then we want it to be not quite 28.5 long. We want it to be, where's that? 25 long. So 3.5 inches shorter. Double click in here. I'm going to delete this face real quick just to make sure there was nothing there that I wanted. But there's not, so I'll move that to 3.5. And I'm going to move the whole thing 3.5 back then so that it's still at the component axes. It's 25. Oh, and this piece is a separate group, so it did not move with the rest. Very nicely modeled keyhole here. I like that. Okay. So we've got that, and the last part is going to be our width. We are at 15 and we want to be at 18. So simplest way to do this, I think, is going to be complicated. Let's grab this, and I'm going to try to select just like this entire side with a window select there. And it needs to get 1.5. If I drag it there, I can see I do indeed have everything I want. I'm going to move it 1.5 inches that way. And I'll grab this whole side, but without those buttons. Let's move that guy. Yep, seems good. Seems like I got what I want. 1.5. And yeah, there we go. We've got our dimensions. So now I'm going to the component. I'm going to explode this thing. Probably not good modeling practice, but I'm going to do it just because I'd rather make it a group and have less component definitions. Yeah, so I'm going to grab that now. Move it over here, and if I was smart, I think I left space for it. We shall see here. Oops. Let's see how much space I've got there. Just over 18 inches. So I'm going to grab it. I'll pop under the floor here. Move it to there. And I think I've got a little more space to move it. Let's get in there real close. And I'll move it, I don't know, 1/10 of an inch away from the wall. It's probably is slammed back in there pretty well. And I'm going to move it an additional 1/10 of an inch away from this wall. I think I've got the space to spare here. I'll take these and I'm going to move them 1/4 inch away from the cabinet. You know, still real close, but a little bit of space to spare. Deselect everything. And can I deselect from here? I don't even know. I've never tried. I don't think so. Okay, and that is on, of course, the games layer, which I should probably rename furniture to be more accurate. And I'm fine with that being named furniture. All right, so I'd say we got that file cabinet down. There is another file cabinet that I may get here as well. And that one is right down there. That's a much shorter one. But yeah, I think I'll go for that. In different color as well. So that one is going back to my dimensions here. I've done this file. I'm going to try something here. Bam, draw right on that thing. So that's done. This one looks like it is 27.5 by 28.5 by 15. Let me pop in here and just see. Yeah, 15 inches seems about right for that space. Just always trying to do my double checks on myself. Make sure I'm in the on the right track. I think I'm going to start by just copying this thing over. This is a pretty good model. Although the height will be an issue potentially. What I'm thinking about doing is deleting the middle section, keeping the top and bottom drawers, and then yeah, just going with that. Let's see here though. If I do 13 and this is 15.5, I end up with 28.5 inches, which is an inch too tall. But looking at this is 12.25. That's 11.25. So we have unevenly spaced or unevenly heighted drawers. Heighted is definitely not a word, but it is being used here. I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to take this approach. So I'll delete those. And that, with this, with that. Okay, so we'll delete all those. Boy, this is going to be kind of messy, I think. Let's just, boom, delete all of that. And this one was my one that was too tall, huh? 12.25. If I select this and I move it down an inch, that's good. I want to get this spacing to be the same, so that's 2. And that's 2.875. Weird. I'll move this down. It doesn't have to be perfect because obviously I don't have the real thing measured to the nth degree, but I wanted to look, close. We'll take that. Good thing I exploded this as a component, otherwise I would have all kinds of problems going on here elsewhere in the model. Let's move that to here. Now I have two faces that are kind of clashing with each other, or potentially I do. I guess SketchUp might be smart enough to avoid that, so thank you, SketchUp, for being awesome. Now I'll connect this up to there, and this down to there. Something happened here that's not straight. Oh, I'm not in the component. Look at that. Alright, there we go. Let's move that down to, ooh. There we go. I would say that's looking pretty dandy, except for the horrible color mismatch. And of course, that is only correct height-wise. So we got our 27.5 correct. And it's a little bit funny because with the exception of changing the height of these drawers, I'm basically bringing this back to the dimensions it was when I brought it in. Kind of funny. Grab that as a window and I'll move it over 1.5. And I'll grab this as a window, move it over 1.5, and I should be back to 15 on top here. And this, let's just see, 25. 3.5 should bring that back. And we are to the correct dimensions there. Okay. Now is going to be maybe the harder part. Well, hopefully it won't be too bad. And that is getting the color right on this thing. So what do I want to do here? I think I want to grab that, and I'm just going to go to Paint. I'll do a snipping tool. I say this like it's the most revolutionary thing, but I think I might have done it 3 times already on this series. But I'll go to Paint. I'll paste that. I'm going to do a color picker. I'll grab there. get this kind of olive color going. We'll call that, sure, Material 1. If it wants to be called Material 1, it can be. And let's go RGB codes. I'm going to put in 97, 86, 55. Okay. And of course we have to come in and color all of these faces to be that color. And something's going on with this again. Just bizarre. Let's do a move copy. Get ourselves another one in there. Looking nice. Is there a second one? No. Just that one. Yeah, I think that looks pretty darn close. There may be, this is a separate piece of metal up top here from the looks of it. So I think it will be, these lines are not accurate. I think it may be more correct to bring this in like 0.1. Yeah, 0.05. Just to add some needless complexity to the model, right? But I think that that's more accurate. This line should have been here. Surprise. But not the bottom ones. Rather than messing with, let's pull that all back in. Do I want to? Do I not want to? What's the way I want to do this? Let's move that 0.05. Do it right. 0.05. 0.05. Okay. Yeah, looking pretty good. And what happens if I zoom back my footage all the way to here? I probably find out that this other file cabinet had a pretty similar design going. I'd say it's less defined, so I'm going to leave that one as it is. It seems more flush along this face and that face. Like maybe it's just bent in a little bit there. So I'm not going to think about it too hard. I'm pretty happy with that. So this file cabinet, surprise, surprise, also goes back into the arcade. And it's going to go down here. Okay. And it's going to go 3.5 apparently is my like active inference snap. We're going to move it to about here. And it'll get adjusted a little bit later. But for now, I think we're going to call that good. And that is all I'm looking to do for right now. Just something quick to kind of follow up on last week's episode. But we will be back to continue adding a little bit of furniture here and really finish fleshing this place out. Can't talk. Probably a good thing I'm quitting for the night. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. This has been Modeling Joe's Arcade.